Well, good morning, everybody. Back here with the Digging Deep podcast, and we're here to field some more of your questions. Um, so this morning I've got Andrew, Brian, and Tyler with me again. And so one of the questions that we got that seems to be pretty timely is, when is the best time to plant plants? And we hear this throughout the entire season, throughout the course of the year. Well, we need to wait till spring, or we need to wait till fall, or we need to do it now, or never, or what have you. So help me answer the age-old question: when is the best time to plant?
So yeah, I mean, I get that question, pretty often, and really you can plant any time of the year, but ideally you would want to plant, in the fall time. It's cooler weather. You won't have to water quite as frequently, and then kind of early spring, right before it really starts to get hot. Everything's starting to grow and take off. So really fall and spring is, in my mind, the best time to plant. But you can still plant in the wintertime. I mean, you aren't going to have to hardly water at all. Water it maybe once when you plant your plants, and just kind of let Mother Nature take care of it from there. And then you can also, you can still plant in the summer, but just keeping in mind that you're gonna have to water pretty frequently, just about every day. And then plants can go through some stress factors. Planting in the middle of July or August. So
You can do it. It's just not as advantageous to the plant.
Right. Yeah, because in the summertime when it's 95 degrees, they can still, be just fine, but you may see some stress, with the plants being in, going from a nursery or a greenhouse where they're petted and pampered, and then they're getting put out there in 95-degree weather. So you're gonna have to water it every day to get established, and you might see some plants getting stressed out from the heat. But yeah, really ideally you want to plant in fall or early spring. So
it's just a temperature issue.
Pretty much. That's one of the biggest things right there. You got cooler weather in fall time. So it's kind of a easy transition from the plant going from a greenhouse or a nursery, and kind of slowly, getting out there, and not overly stressed out. So
Anything y'all want to add to that?
No, it's just, you want to try to, there's so many variables that go into a plant thriving in a location. Despite what some people may think, you can just set it and forget it type thing. While that may seem to be the case, between the nutrients, the water, just oxygen, all that, sunlight, all that goes into a plant thriving, you want to try to lessen the amount of things that could go wrong, as far as the mortality rate of a plant or plant material. You want to try to lessen those variables, I guess, and springtime and fall time allow you to, there's just not nearly as many of variables that could cause the mortality rate during the spring and fall. Because like you said, it's really, the temperature is one of the biggest factors that causes a plant to just suffer from, transplant shock and all that. It's just going through so much already. Why add another variable to it if you can help it? Yeah, you can plant summer. You just gotta monitor it a lot more. Which isn't necessarily a bad thing. It just takes more time on your end, or the homeowner, whoever's planting it, to be there and to watch it and to monitor it. So yeah, if you can lessen the amount of variables that they go into it, why not?
Yeah.
I think really it depends on where you live too. It could change a good bit from zone to zone, but for here, I would say the fall. That way it's got time to get used to where it's at before it gets stressed out. It's just the longest period before it gets hot. So.
Is there anything that you think is like an absolute must when preparing a plant? Doesn't matter what time of year it is, what's kind of a must?
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Ron.
I'd say just making sure it's in the right location. You don't want to plant a plant that likes full sun and full shade.
We see it happen all the time, don't we?
And soil conditions, you know. You don't want to plant an arborvitae in a low-lying area that just stays saturated all the time. Go with I'm just an example, a bald cypress or something that likes to have what we call in the industry wet feet, that thrives in those conditions. So to know your plants and to know what locations it thrives in is a big thing.
Well, we see all the time people expect to have azaleas in full sun, or they'll plant mondo and ferns under a 2 or 3 inch caliper tree, and in 10 years when that tree is 8 times as big as it is and it's got a big full canopy, all of that shade loving material under it will be just as happy as it can be. But for the next 8 years, it's going to be chlorotic, dried out, blistered up, and it's going to look terrible.
Yeah.
Because it's short-term planting versus long-term planting, are two very, very wildly different things. And then even if you put it in the ground in early spring or in the fall, you plant it right when you were supposed to, or when it has the best chance for survival. It doesn't matter, because the next summer that's going to roll around, it's going to beat down on that stuff and just wear it out.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, 100%, not just time and not just temperature, but for sure species, environmental conditions. We're at a property the other day where they've got a hedge of boxwoods that go around the foundation of the house. And it looks really nice, except one of the boxwoods near the corner of the house has this just blown out, burn up spot in it. And they were swearing up and down it was something that possibly we could have done. And you get over there and you look, and the dryer vent blows out right on the back side of that boxwood, like 14 inches away. And it has absolutely torched that boxwood. And it's like, you can put forth all of the preparation, you can plant it at the right time, you can pick the right species, you can do all those things, but there are just some environmental circumstances that still won't lead to success in the ground. So taking all of those things into account. So yes, there's a best time, there's a best condition, there's a best species, but you have to take all of those things into account when getting ready to plant. So hopefully that helps everybody with what to do, when to do it, how to do it, and why to do it. But obviously where you are, what you're looking at, what you're trying to achieve with the plant material is critical. So have a good day, and we will talk to you soon.